was like Samantha on Bewitched. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. We're here answering your listener questions. Everybody in attendance. See, everybody's here.
We're here. 1, 2, 3.
We are.
Yes.
Rikki didn't have work meetings that she had to go to at the end of the day.
That's always good. For like, if you get off at 5, you never want to have a 4:30 meeting. You're like,
oh no, this was a 5:05 meeting, and I was out the door, and they're like, "No, come back."
Here's my opinion on meetings. If you're having a meeting after 3:00 on a Friday, you're a jerk.
Yes, agreed.
Or it's just gonna be you're wiping out the whole staff and you just want to not have everybody.
I don't like you. By nature, there's no reason for that.
There's no reason.
Let's stop pretending about meetings. Exactly. 95% of them are useless anyways. And could have been a dang email.
Correct. Said in education, I'm like, it should have been an email. And
education's the worst because we all want to talk about it and then get input from people, and when everywhere you work, there's that one person when you're wrapping up, they have a question, and you're like, shut your face. We're just about done.
I know, seriously. I'd be like, we are out of here, and you got to raise your hand. Like, just go talk to the ladies one-on-one.
Right. Go talk to them in person. This does not need to be an
I didn't even want to hear this
question.
Dude, I taught with this art teacher named Bobby, Bobbi. I will not say her last name. And she would do that to us every time.
No.
Like by April, it would have been justifiable murder if I'd
yes, agreed. We can all vote on it.
Like I was being held hostage by her questions all year at that point. Like it would have just been me escaping my
were they dumb questions too?
Every time, because the thing was, it would be she's an art teacher, and there's nothing wrong with art teachers, but it'd be something about like some reading initiative that we're doing that had nothing to do with what she taught.
Right.
Like,
Hannah's art teacher, when they switched to e-learning, she was like, nope, I'm going to retire at the end of this year. I'm not learning how to do it.
Oh my God.
And so then the rest of the third grade teachers had to like pick it up. She was like, nope, not doing it.
They're like, okay, art class time, draw a stick figure. That's all I got. I don't know.
I know, right? Yeah. I'm like, do you get to decide to do stuff like that? Like,
draw
nope, not doing it.
We need rainbows right now.
But I will say, my last year in education was so nice because I knew it. I knew I wasn't coming. Once I knew I wasn't coming back, it was joyous.
Yeah. Mike did the same thing. He was like, nope, not doing it.
Not doing it.
No, I don't think so.
No, that's not happening.
I did everything for my kids, but like all the because education just has so much like paperwork and administrative stuff. I'm like,
not doing that.
I'm gonna be here next year, so
don't need
a big 1,000 lesson plan step thing.
Right.
Just to show this, it was like just to justify things to the state for accreditation.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I taught my kids, and I kept telling, and this is the last story, then we'll get to the Disney stuff. So we had to do this thing online. It was through the University of Missouri for all school districts in St. Louis or in Missouri. Every teacher had to fill out this, I forget what it was called, like unit of instruction. I mean, it was super in depth. It took like 3-4 weeks to put this all together. They had to get data from your students, all this blah, blah, blah. I said, if you're a really smart entrepreneur, what you do is, have you heard of teachers pay teachers? You've heard of that, Pam. Okay. So like teachers create stuff like worksheets and stuff, and then they can put them on this clearinghouse and people go buy it. Like, so if my Pam is doing a unit on dinosaurs, she can go on this website, pay like $10 and buy like a whole packet you can download of worksheets, coloring sheet, whatever, like, tests, quizzes, books, all that stuff for like $10. So she doesn't have to create it, and the creator gets paid. It helps with their income as a teacher. Yeah. Great idea. So I said, what you should do as an education was, with all these lesson plans people are writing that probably nobody's reading, is that you clearinghouse for these things, and you just remove your name, you upload, okay, here's a 6th grade gifted education.
Truth.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll use it this year. Next year you buy it, you can submit it. I will take yours, and it's just a big, that'd have probably been 100% illegal, but it would have been it'd have been fun.
It would have been much better, probably. Yeah.
If I had more chops and coding and stuff and website creation, it would have.
Oh my gosh. That's fun.
All right. So let's answer questions. We got some good ones in the chat already. We got one in the inbox. Yes. Got some in the inbox. And my toe just started throbbing. Wonderful. Why is my big toe hurting?
I don't know.
I'm falling apart, people.
Pam, do you know why I can't get the mouse for less to load on my computer, but it's loading on everybody else's?
That's so funny when I hear that.
Did you do something like try to sign in a few times and
No, I can't get the website to load. None of it.
Carmen, thank you. I will sell you some lesson plans.
There you go.
AirGuestPockets.com.
Like it works on my work computer. It works when I'm on my phone, not on my internet. It's just my internet for some reason.
did you try different browsers?
Yep.
Did you try a different computer?
I've tried on my phone. Yeah.
Do you have a different computer to use at home there that you can try?
I can try on Brian's. Yeah.
Yeah, try that.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to narrow it down.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to message Linda and see what she thinks too.
It's called a scientific process.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, let's do this. Man, of course now. Okay.
Yeah, to write the articles I had to do last night, I had to write them on my hotspot. Whoops. So, anyway.
All righty. Oh, Carmen's retired. Good. Well, so you don't need to buy my lesson plan.
There you go.
Okay, because I probably can't find them. Actually, I do have them on a Google Drive, so just in case. Yeah, Scott says Pam is the BOGP help desk. That's right. Got to have more.
I know how to problem solve. I know the hierarchy of, and I don't ever say power cycle.
Power
Never. Never. Because that's frustrating to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you got to have a side hustle nowadays.
Yes, Pam Forrester, travel agency owner and BOGP help desk.
Yes, exactly.
All right, here we go. Because Taco Bell is calling. I know. All right, I seriously look forward to that all week. Okay, here we go.
I could eat Taco Bell.
I like doing the shows on Mondays, and I like having dinner after. Okay, here it is. Holy cow, 1691. We're almost to 1700. That's crazy. All right, that's it. Let's do it. Welcome to episode 1691 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. I hope that this week is going well for you. And before we go any further, so I don't get myself in trouble, happy anniversary to my Pam. We've been married 14 years today as this show comes out.
I'm really glad that you keep track because then that means that I know how many years I've been married to.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
Gold star to my wife Pam for putting up with me for
true story
years. I mean, because we taught next door to each other.
How many years?
Years and years. Well, we've been married 14, but
I know that
we were next door neighbors teaching sixth grade for long. We taught next door to each other for 9 years. So. Wow. I know.
That's a long time.
I mean, not, can you imagine, like, we weren't even married, but like, next door neighbors in education, like that's in sixth grade. Both of us taught sixth grade. So you had all the kids being crazy and we had to deal with that together. So anyway, happy anniversary to my wife. Don't want to get into that, but good times, I will say. So we hope you're having a great Wednesday. We're going to be answering your listener questions. We got some great ones already here in the chat on Facebook. We have some in the inbox to Mike at BeOurGuestPodcast.com. So let's get the ladies introduced. She has been super busy with all the news breaking and covering it all and trying to make sense of it all for you. It's Rikki from touringplans.com and the Mouse for Less. I'm telling you, I'm an old dog and
it's all right. You cannot learn new tricks. No, it's fine. It's fine. No worries. I have to say, I'm so excited about my dinner tonight. I know, Mike, you are in love with Taco Bell, and so you get that all the time after we record. But tonight, my dinner is going to be a very close, but not quite exactly the same version of the cheeseburger pods from Pandora from Satili Canteen. Oh my gosh. I had them on, so I made them officially on Saturday, and they were so good. Like I had so much left over that I kept the filling and I kept the dough to make everything. And so we're having it again tonight. And I'm so excited about the cheeseburger pods. I can't even tell you. They're going to be so good.
Now that does rival Taco Bell. I do love a good cheeseburger pod.
See, I told you. And they're super easy to make too, which is good. So now that I've got the filling and I've got the dough, all I have to do is just put the dough in the filling or put the filling in the dough and then, tie them up and then bake them. So yeah, you're supposed to steam them, but I'm not.
The bird and the egg and
and green grass grows all around, and the green grass grows all around.
I'm always the guy with the binocular. So we also have Pam Forrester. She's co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Been busy lately. Pam, what's on your dinner menu tonight? We've given ours.
Golly, I wish. I think we're having chicken burgers.
Ooh.
And
Pittsburghers having chicken burgers.
I know, right? I'm thinking what else. There's this like a salad that I got from Costco, the salad mix kit. Like you can buy the salad and it has all the stuff with it, which I think is pretty awesome. So, and it's like the perfect size too. So anyways, I think we're having that, and I don't know. That's what we're having. So here's my little tip, because we don't do fast food, but we do these little, Costco has these little chicken burgers. They're made by this company called Amy Lou, and they make other kind of things, but so we do have those all the time. So that's our fast food.
Interesting.
I know.
Okay.
They're good. They're really good.
That sounds good. All right. So before we get to the first question, I do want to send a shout out to everybody who's joined us over on Patreon. It's really helping us keep the things going, because all the bills came due for the website, for the additional hosting and all that this month for the podcast. And it really, really helped out. We're at 320 patrons, actually 323 as we record today. So I want to send a shout out to everybody, but this is going to take a while. So we might be doing this for months and months, but we're going to go in the order of people signing up from back on June 1st. We got Carolyn Q, Kate E, Molly K, Becky B, Aaron V, Jim K, Jackie G, Mary Y, Lauren B, and Megan G. We're going to go 10 at a time, so it's going to be a lot of episodes. So thank you so much for being the first 10 to hit that early on June 1st. We got a lot of folks from June 1st, so thank you so much. And we're going to be giving you some awesome content. We're going to have a new podcast coming over there, Mike in the Midwest. Story about Mike growing up in the Midwest. Not real exciting, but we'll see what we do. Rikki, you may be in a story, actually.
Oh, I may be, huh?
One episode is going to be substitute teaching.
I got it. See, I'll be curious to listen to the story, because I don't remember a lot about it, but you obviously do, because you were my teacher and a lot older than I was.
Yeah, no, I was old, but I just remember how much I hated Jamestown Elementary, because there were no walls in your school.
There were no walls in my school. It was the most bizarre setup ever. Like no walls. Yeah. I don't know why they did that.
It was dumb. All right. First question of the day is from Josh. And he says, "Hey, Mike, I've been an avid listener to the podcast for a year or so, and you guys truly keep the Disney magic alive for my wife and I. Thank you for everything you, Rikki, and Pam do. My question for the podcast is, what are the must-dos for a 2-year-old on his first visit? My wife and I just had our first baby on March 29th, so we're planning our next trip back with our son, Sirius, for March or April of 2022, when he's able to do a bit more. We're going to be back when he's 5 and every 3 years after that. So this isn't going to be a one and done trip for him. I know you guys said in the chat that I won't be able to book the trip until next summer. So we have a countdown until the day we can book. We cannot wait to go back. Thanks, Josh." All right. So they're going to go in spring of 2022. So we got a lot of time here for Sirius to get ready. A 2-year-old. Now let's assume that things will be back to normal at that point, because who knows? I don't know what tomorrow is going to be honest. So, I mean, I'm telling you, spring of 2022 it's a lot further away than it used to be.
Yeah.
So let's just throw in some tips. I will say, with a 2-year-old, when we took Mallory, like the visually stimulating rides were what really stuck out for Mallory. Like small, and I mean, this is pretty obvious, but Small World, the train, because it has movement, it has sounds, it has sights. Jungle Cruise during the day, I wouldn't probably do it at night, even though it's junglier.
It is.
Things like maybe Frozen Ever After at Epcot, the Mexico ride at Epcot, slow, dark rides. We don't have Snow White Scary Adventures, so we can avoid that tragedy that most parents fall into the first time out. But 2-year-olds, it's more about the pictures, I think, too, with characters, so that you have that record. So when they're 25 and getting married, you can say, here's you and Mickey Mouse, or here's you and Donald Duck when you were 2 years old. So that's what I have. So let's go to Pam. What do you think for a 2-year-old? What's something to think about?
I think so. One of the most important things we did when we took Han when she was little is that you want to keep them on their schedule as much as possible. I mean, there will definitely be different things that you'll want to see and do that sort of come out of that realm, but it's always better and easier for everybody if a 2-year-old is eating at the times they normally eat and sleeping at the times that they normally sleep. The other thing is you'll want to gauge your 2-year-old and how comfortable they are with a few things. One of those things is characters. Now, Han, to no surprise, loved every character. She thought that they were all there just for her, basically. Like, you know, she was like, oh, Minnie Mouse is here for me. And she would go up and hug her, and she wanted to touch her and all those things. She would touch her face and stuff when she was real little and everything like that. Some kids are not as comfortable with that. The characters are big and they're sort of afraid. So if you have a place near you where you can sort of get your kids used to that, to seeing a character, someone dressed up, someone has suggested Chuck E. Cheese, but sometimes there's
characters anymore at Chuck E. Cheese.
I don't know. We don't even have a we don't even have a Chuck E. Cheese near us.
Hey, I mean, right now they're trying to get away as Pasquale's Pizza. So
that's all joke.
But if there's somewhere, there's usually some place where there are some kind of characters, even if it's like a local theme park or something like that. Maybe try one of that just to sort of put your toes in the water and see how they respond to that. As far as other things, first of all, I think that character meals are a great idea because, like Mike mentioned, those photos are awesome, but you really don't want to be doing a character meal if your child is terrified the whole time and underneath the table. So the rides that Mike talked about are great. I also think that kids, younger kids, really like the shows, be it Country Bears, which is just sort of, you know, sitting there and enjoying the bears, or the fireworks and the parades and other things like that. Now, I know that some kids are afraid of fireworks, but I think that a lot of kids really enjoy those as well. And the parades are just fun for all of them. I think, though, the other thing you'll, again, want to, you know, think about is, you know, how to keep your child occupied when they're spending a lot of time in the stroller or toddling around and not, you know, being that steady on their feet. And I know that kids at 2 have been walking for a while, but still you go through that period of time where they're like down on the ground and constantly touching everything, and you feel like you're always wiping off their hands. You know, just think of ways like that, things to keep them busy and engaged.
A 2-year-old's like a dangerous item to have in there.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Like they're like germ magnets.
Yes.
My nephew's I think he's 3. And he was over the other night, and like, I mean, I guess that's that age where like you got to pick your nose all the time, like constantly. Like one time he was double barreling it, and I was like, oh. But you got to be discreet, kid. You got to be discreet. It's okay.
Right.
All right, Rikki, what do you got real quick?
Well, I don't know that I can follow up with double barreling up your nose. Okay, so the thing that I have to say is, as a child who went at the age of 2, I was the opposite of Pam and Hannah. I was terrified of everything. So the Country Bears scared the bejeebus out of me. And also a lot of attractions scared me as well. So, you know, take things slow is the kind of the best advice that I can say, and really go at their pace and see what they are comfortable with as you know, are down there and going through the parks, because you may be surprised at what they enjoy, and you may be surprised at what may terrify them. So this goes just from someone who has personal experience being a toddler in Walt Disney World. Now, granted, I don't remember a lot about it because I was 2, you know, but my mom has definitely told the stories of me at Walt Disney World when I was 2. So that's how I know the stories.
Yes.
So, yes. Yeah.
All right, let's hit some of these other questions here live in the chat. Angie S. from Greenville, Illinois, where their biggest thing in Greenville is the university that my best friend in high school ended up getting kicked out of because he got caught with a beer in the Christian school. So yeah, I mean, there was like zero tolerance at this school. Apparently he was just boom, he was all of a sudden he was back home. And also the prison is in Greenville. So anyway, she asks, any idea when the package bookings will open up? Negative, we don't know. But if the Mouse for Less, you'll know if you watch that, right? That's what I'm telling everybody is, you know, we are learning news daily, and if you just bookmark themouseforless.com, right there. When anything happens, Rikki is on it. We were talking about this over the weekend on the call-in shows. It's just a lot of times there's so many changes that are coming out in like bunches, like it's like a press dump.
Yeah.
You want to have it in writing so you can bookmark that or screenshot like lists of restaurants that are going to be open, and this, I just like to screenshot stuff like that. So it's on my photos, app, and I can just go back to it quickly if I need, reference. But the Mouse for Less, good place to go. So I'd check that out.
It is. And right now they're just trying to get all those folks who were impacted by, the changes and are going to be traveling during 2020 shored up and kind of figure out where to go from there. So that's what they're focusing on right now. And, the good news is no one else can make those reservations either.
That's true. That's a good point. Yes.
I kind of want to book one and I can't. That's one of those things. Like I always wait kind of to the last minute, just kind of, I'm very laid back on my own reservations and got burned this time. So what are you going to do? Anyway, I guess go Lake of the Ozarks. That's what we're going to do. Because we get to stay at a house of our relatives down there. I've never got to go to the strip and do skee ball and stuff.
I hate Floridian, Mike. Skee ball's not there anymore.
That old outdoor arcade.
Yeah.
Hot.
No, it's gone. They tore that sucker down a while ago. I'm so sad because that was one of my favorite places to go. Dime skee ball. Brian and I would go
super hot, right?
Every single time. Yeah, it was not air conditioned. Yeah, they tore that down. I'm sorry to tell you.
Is Minor Mike still there?
Minor Mike's is there. As the last time I went, Minor Mike's is there still. So you can go there. You'll be fine. But no more dime skee ball.
Easy,
you can go to the fudge shop. The fudge shop is still there, I think.
I've never been to that. Anyway, so that'll be a story on this podcast.
Yes.
I guarantee you that. This is going to be crazy. All right, Lee's got a question. If you were able to have a split stay with Art of Animation and Animal Kingdom, how many days or nights would you give yourself at Animal Kingdom and why? So let's say percentage wise. Let's say, because he didn't say how long he's going to go. Let's say 7-night stay. How are you going to divide it up between? Ideally, you do 0 nights at Art of Animation, 7 at Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's awesome. No, I'm just kidding. Because there's benefits. You got the Skyliner at Art of Animation, themed suites and Little Mermaid rooms, the great food court. It just depends on your goals of the trip. But what I do typically on a 7-night stay with a split with a deluxe at the end, I'm more of like a 5-2 guy. 5 at the value, 2 at the deluxe, just to get the taste. And I do all my park touring on the front end, all that kind of stuff. And then those last 2 nights, it's like pool time. Enjoy the resort, maybe go to a resort, a theme park for a little bit, but I do a 5-2. What did you say, Pam?
4-3. I think that I want at least 3 nights at a resort if I can handle it, because it gives me the opportunity to really experience the resort. I feel like that first night, you're just kind of getting settled in. Then your second night is really, the night that you're really sort of relaxing and getting into it. And then the third night is the night before you have to leave. So you're packing and getting stuff ready. So I like 3. And Animal Kingdom Lodge in particular has so many things to do. You're really going to enjoy it. The pool area is fantastic. Viewing the animals everywhere is just so great. You're going to want to, of course, walk over to Kidani because you're so close. And, just enjoy that resort. The dining is fantastic, from the signature dining at Jico to the table service at Boma. We don't know what that will look like, but, they'll have something pulled together. And then you also have Mara. And then over at Kidani, you have Sanaa. So lots of great things to do there. Take advantage of the activities and enjoy.
The pool at Jumbo House is way underrated. That is a great pool. And actually, 100%. Kidani's is too. It's in a weird spot. You got to walk across the parking lot to enjoy it. I think that's a really cool one if you have kids.
It is. And the one at Jumbo actually was, for a period of time, the largest pool on Disney property. Of course, now that is the Big Blue over at Art of Animation. But yeah, it was at one time. And it does have a cool slide too. So we like that one.
It's just cool. It's lush. Like the Jumbo one I'm back to, but it's just lush. Just the way the thatched roofs look, and you got all those inside facing rooms out over the balcony. Yeah, they got a really good bar there. Not that I drink a lot, but they have really good margaritas if you're sitting poolside for a day. Okay. Are we all dreaming? I saw that Steve Pam put out a message this morning to all of us, don't you wish you were poolside right now? He made a video. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Is open here? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to give this one. Rikki, what do you think? I do a 4-3. Pam says a 4-3. I say a 5-2. 4-3.
I say 4-3. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm with Pam. 3 nights is kind of, where I think that you should start with, or that's like the limit for staying in a place. Like I've done less. It gets to be hard to do less, but I mean, I can do it, but I think the sweet spot is 4-3. Yeah.
All right. Peter is tuned in from Calgary, where they usually have the Stampede, but like everything else in the world, it was canceled for the first time this year. So hopefully that'll come back next year. He says, have been trying to make a reservation for Disney World for Christmas. The 19th of December to the 3rd of January. The site seems to be not working. Do you know when they will open reservations? Was hoping to book a cabin at Fort Wilderness. So again, we cannot make new reservations at this time. But I will say, if that comes up, I do like the idea of a cabin at Christmas. That'd be beautiful. That'd be nice. But just, again, keep checking. It could open, but that could still be a little bit before. I would say it'll probably still be a little bit.
I think so too. I think that it's just, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that I think it's even hard for us that know the system to wrap our heads around. They just have a lot of things that they need to take care of. And I think they're trying to do that in the best way possible. So they're going to get the 2020 folks straightened up, and then we'll move forward with being able to other people book 2020, and then hopefully 2021 will be soon after.
Alfred S. Witness Space 220 opening. So, that one. You're fun, Alfred.
Very funny.
Carmen in the chat, who I found out is a retired teacher. Shout out to Carmen for surviving teaching, like some of us. I couldn't make it all the way, but I made it close. It says, holding unused Disneyland tickets from March. Can we switch to Walt Disney World with them? Rikki? I don't think so. Can you?
I don't think you can. No, they're
circumstances. I wouldn't think so.
They're two separate entities, basically. So, you're not going to be able to switch your tickets, I don't think. So, unfortunately,
value, right? If you want to use them later, because
at Disneyland, yes.
Disneyland, yes. Yeah. Just plan a trip.
Yeah.
All right, Lisa's got a question. Looking to reschedule our September 2020 trip. Would like to reschedule for either October, November, or December of 21. Which week would you recommend for lower crowds? Like maybe which month out of October, November, December? Pam.
So if you are not traveling over Thanksgiving, then November is actually a really good time to go. Thanksgiving, of course, gets a little squirrely, but it's not for an extended period of time. It's surprising how quickly the crowds ramp up right before Thanksgiving and how quickly they die down right after Thanksgiving. So, I think November is a good time to go. And I like the weather there. And I like that you're going to be able to see some of the Christmas decorations coming up at that time too. So that's one of my favorite times to go.
All right. Next question is from Ashley. 3 related questions. We've kind of talked about the first one. Any guess on when people can make new resort reservations and purchase tickets? We don't know. Can't really make a guess on that. How fast do you think it will fill up? Should I jump as soon as they open or take my time to plan a trip in November? I'm one of those things that early bird gets the worm, and who knows? This is such an unprecedented situation, and Disney fans like us, and I'm talking collectively, everybody listening to this show, I think we're all getting pretty excited to travel. We've been locked up for a long time, so I would think the demand is there. I don't know though. I mean, this is me speaking from my point of view in St. Louis. I would say people will kind of be all over it. And I would go, if you really want to go in November, if they open up and you can, I would book ASAP. But Rikki, how do you feel about that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I would, if you're thinking about it, there's nothing wrong with going ahead and booking it as soon as it becomes available. So pick
your date now.
Yeah.
Like, be ready. That's what I would choose. Like,
put on the calendar.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, the only thing you'll have to book, first of all, is your resort or package reservation at that time. Then everything else you can take your time planning, but I would get that locked in so you know what you want to do.
Yep.
All right. Through a lot here. Jillian's got a great one. What's your bucket list food item for when the park reopens? Pam, what are you going to? You get one food item when the park opens. We did a call-in show about this a little bit ago.
I am heading to Disney Springs And I'll have to go there 2 different days because I really like a few things. I'm just going to hang out at Disney Springs all the time because I want to go to Polite Pig because I really like some of their items. I really want to go to Homecoming. I also really like the Boathouse. And I like Jock Lindsay's. So can I just bounce back and forth between those for a day and then I'll be happy?
What's keeping you in Pittsburgh, man? Disney Springs is open.
Yeah. I know. What's keeping me in Pittsburgh is the constant changes in my business.
Yeah, it's true.
So I'm here for a little bit more, but yes.
Just strap yourself. I got a seatbelt on my office chair at this point. I'm just saying. Oh Lord, here we go again. Okay, so mine, I was thinking about it. And I just lost it. No, what was it? No, Rikki, I'll go to you because I totally forgot. I had a great one. Oh no, I got it. It's the Ronto wrap.
Ooh.
I said a Ronto wrap, and it's really not that exciting, but dang, those things are good. I don't know what's in the Ronto sauce, but I don't want to know, but it's good. So give me a Ronto wrap. All right, Rikki, go ahead.
I mean, I think I have to go with traditional, right? So I'm going to go with a Mickey bar, just to have that, first of all, it's the Mickey shaped food because you can't, yes, I know I can get it at the grocery store. It's not the same at the grocery store. I'm just telling you, like that I can't get.
I haven't even bothered with those grocery store
copycats
because I've heard that from other people. And I'm like, I haven't even then.
Oh, they're a rip-off. They're kind of like their Big Lots Mickey bar. Okay?
Yes, exactly. The Big Lots Mickey bars. Yes.
Too funny.
Anyway, so I think that's the snack I'm going for. I'm just gonna go do that. Now, if I'm going for food, we talked about it on Sunday's live show, dude. I'm going for that steak at Topolino's Terrace for breakfast, man. That sucker was so flippin' good.
The quiche there is fantastic too, by the way. I think that breakfast is one of my favorite breakfasts on Disney property. So when people were like, they're not going to have character dining except for Topolino's, I was like, win for everybody.
Yes.
Because that's the best one. So if you're going to keep one, you might as well keep that one.
It's so good. That steak is one of the best steaks I've ever had. And I don't eat, I am a sweet eater for breakfast usually, traditionally, that's kind of where I end up going. But this, I decided that morning, I was like, you know what, the cast member recommended it to me. She's like, it's really good. And so I was like, you know what, let's go for it. So I did. And I regret nothing at this point. It was the best steak I've ever had, basically. So yeah, I'm going for that steak in the morning. So good.
All righty. Now we're starving. All right. Robert Tucker has a question. Let's see here. Have you heard how crowded Disney Springs has been now that they've been open for a couple of weeks? Rikki, what have you been seeing?
So I have 2 things. One, I haven't seen a lot of crowds. I think you get the crowds in the morning. A lot of people are going for World of Disney. I think a lot of them are people who are resellers. So they're going to go and pick up their stuff to sell that on eBay. But other than that, I haven't seen the Disney Springs in general be super crowded. Now, I will say, stay tuned because this weekend, yours truly very well may probably be at Disney Springs sometime this weekend. So with that being said, I will have a first-hand look at Disney Springs on the Be Our Guest and the Mouse for Lesses and social media. So, go check. You'll be able to check it out there, and my own, by the way, but I might as well plug the other 2.
All right, at Rikki Nibs.
Yep.
Let's see here. So we in the inbox, kind of going along with that, we got a email says mask suggestion. It's from Frank. He says, Mike, a hint about masks before you come to Walt Disney World, if still required, buy several different ones and try them out for a while. Living outside Orlando, have been wearing them for 3 months to some places where required, and other places are optional. Found some are too tight on the ears. Others slid down when I talked. One fogged up my glasses more than others. Took a while to find what I liked, and can always find a themed one if you like. He says he has a UCF mask. And you can probably find a Mizzou one somewhere. Frank. And I think that's a great advice because, Pam, we again, back in January, this would have blown our minds. But what are we talking about? You don't go to Walt Disney World with a brand new pair of tennis shoes. Even though you're the best, the best reviewed, the most comfortable on Amazon or wherever you get them. You probably don't get them on Amazon, you get them at Nike or whatever, but New Balance. But the thing is, you practice with everything you have a little bit so that you're comfortable with it when you get there. And I think this is great advice from Frank. Don't you agree?
Yes, absolutely. And I have 2 more pieces of advice too. So, someone had told me, one of the things that they found that really helped make them feel cooler in the mask and just made the mask experience more comfortable was if they had some kind of peppermint thing, like a Tic Tac or whatever, that helped. And then someone else said, not only that, but if you have peppermint essential oil and you put a little bit of it on the mask, like a tiny bit we're talking about, because you don't want to be overwhelmed, that again, it really helped you make you feel cooler and made the experience more comfortable. So I thought that was a great tip too.
Yeah. Rick, I mean, because again, I haven't really gone anywhere where they're required, but I haven't gone anywhere hardly.
True. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, that's really good advice. Definitely see what masks work best for you. I'll shamelessly plug the fact that our T Public store, we do have masks available. So if you want to be our guest mask, you can have one of those.
Got one, and
yeah.
a picture of him in a shirt and a mask.
That's awesome. So I mean, we do have that capability. I've heard some of the lizards bought some of the lizard masks that we have, and they say that they're pretty comfortable. So that's good news. But yeah, I definitely try on different masks, different styles, because it seems like everybody has a different style, mask, and yes. What works for one person does not necessarily work for another, so
100%.
I would absolutely try out many, many different style masks before you, because you never know what you're going to like, or what will work in one area may not work in another, so I have a mask that I love personally that a friend from high school made. She was selling them, and it was one of the first masks that I bought, and I love it. It fits my face great. It has a bungee cord in the back, so I can, make it tight against my head. The only problem,
because I'd come up behind you and be like, whoop.
Yeah, exactly. The only problem though is she made, when she made the inside, she put like a felt on the inside, which is great, except for living in Georgia, it's hot, and so the felt just keeps the heat against my face. So it worked out well, when it was cooler, but it's not the right mask for right now. Even though I love the mask, I think she did a fantastic job on it. Doesn't work out in the middle of, summer heat in Georgia. So wouldn't work in Orlando either.
I did see a commercial yesterday about mask breath, and it was kind of like Pam said,
dude,
like Tic Tacs or something. It's like mask breath is a thing.
It is absolutely a thing. I have to tell you, because I have to wear masks all day at work, and like before I leave for work after eating my breakfast, I have to go brush my teeth again, because I'm like, if I don't do this, it's not good for the rest of the day till I go home for lunch. So mask breath is definitely a thing. Just be aware. Don't eat onions.
From Bob. First question. I listen to the podcast and it makes me want to exercise more. Should I exercise? No, I hate exercising. Next question. I've heard rumors that the reimagineering of Spaceship Earth is on hold. Is that true, Rikki?
I mean, there's no way to officially know at this point. I suspect as of right now, it probably is, just because they hadn't started working on it yet. They have, put on hold, for any projects like that. So I'm going to guess that if the project hadn't been started yet, it probably may not get done. So again, we don't know. I mean, they have big plans for the 50th, and it depends on how things go over the next couple of, months, 6 months, whatever, of what they're going to end up deciding to do. So I'm going to say that it's probably on hold, to be perfectly honest. If I were a betting woman and I had to take, the guess, I would say that we're probably, at least temporarily, not going to see the Spaceship Earth redo be done. And if they do end up redoing it, probably won't be as much as it was supposed to be.
Fiscally responsible,
people. I'm telling you, it's a thing.
All right, Alfred's got a question. Pam, just quick thoughts on this, because I don't think we really know the answer, but I'm wondering, since they're using the DVC resorts right now, the Deluxe villas, Oak Key West, Saratoga Springs, so forth, to start with, that's the only thing we can modify to right now. How's it working, like with owners? Like, do they get priority, or what are you hearing with that? Because it is kind of a strange dilemma. I don't know if it's even a problem, but I mean, there's limited, how's that working?
So if you have DVC points, you can make reservations right now. you have the ability to do that with your
Without an
points.
existing one. So even if you like today you had nothing on the books and you're a DVC person, you can go ahead and use your point. Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah, you can. So
people can just modify into them. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Diane has a question here. And this news on this topic has been everywhere, like everywhere. But says we have a 7-night trip scheduled in September to Coronado Springs, Gran Destino Tower. I love the tower. With the recent news of the NBA staying at Coronado Springs, which do you think is more likely? A, we get bumped and upgraded somewhere else, or B, our reservation gets canceled altogether by Disney. And now throw a monkey wrench in this. I don't even know if they're staying at Gran Destino.
Right. And and it has not been officially announced by Disney.
Correct.
So that is still up in the air. But what I will say is that Disney is going to make, if you have a current and existing reservation, they want you to come and they're going to have something available for you. I don't know that it will necessarily be an upgrade, and I don't even know if you'll have to move. So those are two things, there could be a few other choices in your whole scenario. So I think we just have to wait and see on that one and see. I know it is a big rumor out there. And I think it's just best at this point because there's been so many rumors. Some have been true and some have been absolutely not true that we've seen. So I think we just got to wait and see on that one.
And you're right. They haven't officially announced anything as of this point. That has definitely been a speculation that it would be Coronado Springs. And with that being said, Gran Destino Towers. Now, I did notice when you and I were talking, with the episode on Sunday, we mentioned the fact that only Kidani was available, not Jumbo House. And I thought about it and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're staying at Jumbo House. So I bet you money that the NBA will have some of their players staying at Jumbo House. That's just a very good guess based off of the fact that it wasn't even close to available for people to book. So, or for it to be open when things do open on the 22nd. So
I agree. Here's my advice for folks who are in a situation like Diane. And I know it's hard. It's easier to say this than to live this because
100%.
I am like, it's out of your control right now in the beginning of June. Don't sweat it yet because we don't have any, but the news is coming and, the news is coming out hot and heavy and the rumors are coming out even worse. Like there's always like solid news, but then there's 8,000 rumors for every news item. So
and horrible clickbait articles too.
Yeah,
can we just say that? I think that is atrocious. I mean, I understand that websites and blogs absolutely want to bring people to them, but for that reason, I think it's horrible. Like the news from Disney, you absolutely must read before you go there anytime in 2020. And then you click it and it's like, yeah, they've made some changes and they've dropped the dining plan for the time being.
Absolutely.
Like, we knew that.
100%. And I like to just put it out there, like any article you ever read by me, I will never do that to you. I think that's completely unfair to do to people to cause panic and hysteria in my articles. So you will never see me say breaking in my articles. You will never see me do something like what Pam just said.
What if something breaks?
I won't put breaking in it. I absolutely will not.
Breaking the lights at your Disney resort.
I've broken articles before. I just want to say,
I'm not saying that way, but I mean, say like the Tower of Terror physically.
I got it. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I've literally been the one to break news before, and I still haven't put breaking because I think it's a disservice to people, and I think that is really. It's not my favorite thing that people do. So you'll never read an article by me that does one of those two things because it irritates me. So
I just like if it's an interesting story, I think that people will go there.
Yes, exactly.
Click the link and read it if it's pertinent to them. So I mean, it just
exactly.
I think that there's lots of great news and great websites out there. I mean,
Roast for less. Okay, got it.
Yeah, there are, but I mean, I think that there's a way to come by it. Honestly, I guess I will say. I know, Diane. I'm sorry that it is, as Mike said, it's easy enough for us to say, just wait. How many times a day do you think Mike or I or another agent says that? It's just like, we have to be patient right now, because
and they have that response on a Google whatever filler thing.
I know, we're an auto response whenever I click Control P for a patient. We have to be patient right now.
That's true. Yeah, and the thing is, well, also breaking news. No, just kidding. But I was interviewed for an article today on Pop.
Were you?
Yes. So I'm excited for that again. So
what article? I mean, can you talk?
It hasn't been written yet. I was on the phone.
You'll have to let us know.
Oh, I'm excited. I love that. I feel like I'm Len Tester or something.
You are breaking things right now.
Breaking news. Mike's going to get a Taco Bell.
Yeah, everything they asked, I'm like, this is breaking news now. Okay, here. No, just kidding. No, they're great. Tara's a great writer, and so I was glad to be asked again. So, now I lost my total place.
Sorry.
And also Ryan said, don't forget MLS is going to be at Walt Disney World as well. So,
that's true.
So many. Yeah. I don't know as much about MLS. Obviously I know more about the NBA, more about like baseball and hockey and football and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know, like this. I wouldn't think the NBA is they're going to bring more people than folks think, because you're not just bringing like 12 basketball players. There's so much on a staff, because Paige is on the staff for Mizzou basketball. Yeah. And it's crazy just in the women's basketball, how many are on the staff there. But MLS, I don't even know how many they would bring, because obviously soccer has a lot more players.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And so who knows? Lots of tips though in here, like don't wear lipstick with a mask. Don't bring chapstick.
It's true. I've worn lipstick with a mask.
Different mask every day, I guess, because maybe they get dirty or worn out. I don't know.
Yeah. I've definitely worn lipstick with a mask though, and it definitely gets on my mask.
I mean, that's just common sense, though. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I'm throwing my mask away every day after I get done with work, so it's not.
All right. Well, I think we hit all the questions that are in the chat for right now. So we'll just, we're at the end of the show here. So let's just call it a show. And again, thanks to everybody who asked all these great questions for the awesome conversation. Sure appreciate that. If you have a question, though, send it to Mike at beourguestpodcast.com. We'll get that in the queue here for the next show next Wednesday, and we'd sure appreciate that. Don't forget, you can follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at beourguestpod and at beourguestmike, and facebook.com/beourguestpodcast. Join us every Monday around 5:45 Eastern. We have all this fun together as we record. Also, Tuesdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're live and we're taking calls and we're having a good time hanging out, talking Disney. So join us for that as well. 3 big ways to support the show right now. The biggest is to book your next vacation with us here at the Magic for Less. They have the best agents. They're passionate. I don't know if you know this, but we talk all day long on this back channel where, yes, it's kind of funny because some of the stuff is off topic, but most of it is just us trying to, and with this news, I am trying to sell you using a travel agent, and here's why. A lot of the stuff that's coming out is changing so often, and it's also very complex on the side of, okay, well, this is the rule. You got to have tickets, or you got to have a resort reservation, you got to have a dining reservation to get into the hotel. The thing is, we have a team of very, very experienced travel agents. A lot of us have been doing this 5, 6, 10 years or more. And so we've seen these scenarios come up time and time again. So what we do is, even as somebody who knows travel, we're never working in isolation. We're bouncing ideas off each other so that if I don't have the answer for one of my guests, Steve or one of these other agents at the Magic for Less, Jeanette, Jocelyn, somebody will have an idea, Ben, where they can say, have you thought about this solution? And you know what? These are super smart people and it benefits everybody. So it's just nice to have not just an agent behind you, but a team of agents behind you all the time, especially in these crazy times. So really just think about it. It supports the show. It benefits you at the same time. And the best part, absolutely free to you. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. We'll be booking those new trips here before you know it. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. That helps so much. And finally, the newest way to help us get through this little low period is become a patron. Thanks to the 323 patrons so far. You guys are awesome. You're going to take forever to get all the names out here. I didn't think it'd be that many, but it's awesome. We're going to make it happen. So check that out at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. All right. We're going to be back again on Friday, and we're going to be talking about stuff to do at Walt Disney World. If you're there before the parks open, we're going to give suggestions of what you might do. Rikki had 2, and we're going to come up with some other stuff, hoping that it's open. It might not be, but we'll be talking about things to do outside the theme parks on Friday. So until we talk to you again, for Rikki and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Time to head back to work. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. There it is. Again, every time the neighbor gets on the riding lawnmower, as soon as I open the mic.
I can't hear it, so you're fine.
Yeah, this mic's pretty good about canceling everything out, but I knew it. Here he comes. He's going to come cruising by my window. And he's 2 doors down, but he's got this huge riding lawnmower.
That's funny.
What it is, I'm jealous. I have a push mower from my grandpa from 20 years ago. Everybody around here's got a rider, and it's like a big toy. I want one so bad, but I can't justify it because it's not really. I don't need one.
Right.
It's easier just to pay someone to come do it.
Yeah. Well, Paige has cut it every time this year, so she's been.
Oh, really? That's funny. Yeah, Steve used to spend 2 hours cutting ours, and I was like, no. Like, seriously, you do not have time for this. Pay someone to come do our lawn, please. Because then after he mows it, then there's the weed whacking and the blowing.
That is pain. Yeah, the cutting the grass isn't that bad.
And then there's the fact that you definitely have to take a shower after because you're smelly and yeah.
Truth.
And I'm not allowed to use the weed whacker because at the old house I trimmed one time and Pam did not approve because she said I trimmed too aggressively.
Oh,
you can see like dirt, like.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't see dirt.
I trim to make sure you don't have to go back for like a month.
You're killing your grass.
I just chop everything down. She's like, you are never allowed to use the weed whacker. And I'm like, that's
my God.
I don't really like doing it myself. So
no, I mean, and even it's so funny because Steve's last blower that he had, he felt was not powerful enough. So then he ended up buying one of the ones you wear on your back.
My dad just got one of those and he called me. He was so proud. He's like, this thing has a backpack and it blows 260 miles an hour. I'm like, dude, be careful with that. You're going to blow it.
I know. He's so crazy about it. But so, you know what's funny when you were talking about the agents, I thought the thing that I think is a great reason to book with our agency is you should see if one of our agents is like, were you able to get this for the guest? Yes, I was. Oh, they told me no. I am calling back and getting that for my guest.
Did you talk to Austin?
Who did you talk to? My guest is getting that.
Frankie's the best at cruise line. When I get Frankie, dude, it's like a 20-minute call if I make a 5-minute change. I love him. We talk baseball constantly. Man, my nose is so sunburned. And shout out to Jennifer. I'm drinking my mini Coke cans. You can't find these anywhere. You cannot find Coke Zero in cans anywhere. But she found some up on Highway K. They're little bitty baby cans. My hand didn't get big.
Why? What's the deal with the cans?
I don't know. I haven't been able to find them like in 2 weeks. And Paige is doing Instacart and she can't find them. She's all over all the grocery stores. They're not available. And I think it's all.
Is Paige like your personal assistant?
She's got to hustle. She needs to do something. She's not working.
Okay.
She's been very good. They're here. Okay. Yeah. But these are like little 8-ouncers.
So do you have to drink like 30 of those?
Yeah, probably.
I've already gone through a 6-pack.
Oh man,
that's crazy.
All right, so stuff to do outside. This might be a short show. No. All right.
All right, what are we doing on the show? Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, sorry. I like lost my mind for a moment. It's back.
Oh, there you go.
Good.
It was short.
Is it funny that like when you know people in the chat, like you just hear their voice? Like I can hear Jocelyn, best team ever. Like other East Coast accent. Like oh, here comes what?
What?
I'm expecting him to come up to my window, and he's not even.
I'm afraid Mike's going to chase after him.
I know. Stop!
Stop. You're going to become a grumpy old man. Be like, get out! You got to only do your lawn at this time.
I've got to another stage of old man because we have a fountain in the middle of our lake. It's just like it spouts up. It's super pretty, what it does, it oxygenates the water so the fish don't die. Like the fountain's been out for like a month and all the old people are fired up and I'm just as fired up. Like I'm ready to go like start a petition or something.
Mike, you got to teach the older people how to use the Twitter.
We do. We need to do something.
Because people respond to the stuff on social media faster than anything.
There's one guy that's like in charge of the fountain. Like he's got the key to the electrical box that like controls it. And so he's like, I don't know. I've seen him mess with it a couple times, but haven't for a month. Like, I don't know which house he lives in, but everybody else does. But we need to get up at his house and be like, look, you need to fix that fountain.
You gotta suit up. Someone might have to have a snorkel outfit on.
No, we pay. Well, there's a little boat that goes out there. I saw him try to fix it like 2 months ago, and it worked for like 3 days, and then quit. But yeah, it's a mess. Yep, we pay her like $200 a year. I want my fountain,
Right? No kidding.
my HOA or whatever that is. We didn't have that at the old house.
No, don't get me started on HOAs. Telling you, you do not want me to get started on HOAs right now.
I love our HOA.
I'm super mad about ours.
I don't mind ours because our neighborhood looks awesome. Like everybody keeps stuff up.
No. Okay. I'll admit we have weeds in my yard because, we just do. They're weeds. I mean, it's hard to get rid of them. So anyway, first of all, I think that the HOA has an in with the weed people because like they constantly are in my neighborhood and like I swear that they have an in with them. So anyway, in order to prove that we are attempting to try to fix our weed problem, Brian had to take a picture of either the receipt proving that we paid somebody to get the weeds done or a picture of the bottle of the weed killer that we used. No joke, that's something we actually had to do.
You're totally marked by your HOA president.
Why don't you just pay them to come spray your lawn and then you won't?
Because it's the principle about the whole thing. It's just like
seems like getting rid of the weeds is a lot easier than doing all that other work.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the principle behind it.
What is this principle that what are you trying to have your principle on?
I love weeds. They're a really
like I want all the weeds.
Like misunderstood.
Bring them to my yard.
They are in my yard. I'm just telling you. But I'm just like irritated because it's like, okay, so I have weeds. Big whoop-de-doo. Like, why should you get to tell me that I don't get to have weeds? If I want weeds,
that's part of your covenant.
If I want weeds, I should be able to have
You're
weeds.
not getting any sympathy from me or Mike on this one. The HOA is there for a reason.
My neighbor has a few, and they're starting to migrate, and I'm like, oh, that is not happening.
Yeah. If you were my neighbor, I'd be irritated at you. I'm just going to say this.
It's not on purpose. It's just like, they've taken
there's a solution that you choose not to take. So it's
Brian is out there. Brian is out there using the weed killer. It's not like we're not using weed killer. And it's the part that makes me mad. It's not that we're not doing something. We are doing something. I don't want to pay somebody to come out there.
I love Brian, but I'm just wondering about his qualifications to treat the weeds.
I don't want to pay somebody to do it when we can do it ourselves because, like, there's weed killer. Like, that's the whole point of it. Like, why should I have to pay somebody to come once a month to spray the weeds?
Because it's like $35 a month or whatever.
That's not okay.
$65 a month.
Just saying.
I thought weed was legal in Georgia. So.
No. Apparently it's not.
Not subdivision.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm irritated. I told you, don't get me started on my HOA.
Yes.
Dude, they've already irritated me because they basically said in an email essentially that I wasn't supposed to read. Thanks for dealing with her. So, that doesn't make me really happy about them anyway. So
they find you difficult. I'm saying on this issue, they may not be wrong.
No. You may come off a little abrasive. When it comes
I only asked for your definition.
Saying, like you're trying to fight about these weeds, man. Just pull.
All I asked was for a definition of something. And
what a weed was?
No, not for the weeds. It was a different story.
You ask for what a weed is, you're marked. You're done. And you're younger than all the people that are in charge. You are done.
I just asked for a definition and where I could find it in the covenant, and that did not go well.
These people have 24/7. That's all they're going to worry about is getting you. Like you have
they really are. I swear to God, they are out to get me.
Poor Brian, he's going to get sniped because.
Oh no, I make Brian deal with them now because if I had to deal with them, it would not go well. No, I make him deal with it.
You make more bees with honey or more flies with honey.
I tried to be nice. They were the ones that got snippy with me. I'm sorry. They were the ones that got snippy with me first. I was nice at first. All I wanted was a definition and explanation of something, and then they got basically.
That's a bully move to ask for a definition of a weed. That is
no,
wrong.
It wasn't the weed.
Yeah, it is. You're asking for a fight. How do you not know that?
It wasn't about the weeds. It was
that'd be the lesson. It'd be like, this is why you got punched in the nose because you asked what the definition of a weed is. Everybody knows what a weed is. That's why you got knocked in the nose. Now,
it wasn't about the weed problem. It was something else earlier.
Oh, they've had other issues, other run-ins
with me.
I'm never visiting Sugar Hill, Georgia, whatever.
I've had other issues with me. I promise.
If I do, I'm not saying that I know Rikki. I'll just be like,
snipe. Oh.
Joanne. I
Thanks,
like HOAs
Joanne.
because they deal with people like Rikki. I
Thank
agree,
you.
Joanne. This is where I'm at too.
Oh,
No, it's irritating. I'm sorry.
Your neighbors.
Oh my god, irritating.
All right, let's do this show. All right.
Yes. Okay.
I
I like what Tammy. Yes, Tammy, we are discussing weed.
Yes.
Weeds. Yes.
Weeds, yes.
Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. This is 1693.
Oh, by the way, the next house I have will not be in an HOA. I'm just saying. I've already
You'll have a whole host of other problems then.
It's fine. I would rather not be.
Your neighbors will have like a junkyard next door,
That's
and there'll
fine.
be nothing you can do.
That's fine. I'm good with that. Like,
I'm
that's
good
fine.
with HOAs right now.
I'm good with it. It's fine. So
I have a place that didn't have them, and I love it here. All right.
Nope.
Welcome to episode 1693 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're having a great wrap to your week. Hope you had a productive one. And now it's time to go have some fun. The country's opening up a little bit. Get out there, get outside, enjoy the wonderful summer weather, long summer nights, and maybe have a meal outside at a restaurant. That sounds really, really good. So today we're going to be talking about some of the stuff you can do at Walt Disney World outside of the theme parks, because as we know, some folks will be heading down here in just a couple of short weeks, but the theme parks won't be open yet. So we're going to talk about some stuff that under normal circumstances you can do. Some of these things may not be available, but they might be available by the time June 22nd rolls around. So we're going to just have a discussion of fun stuff to do outside the theme parks. All right. Joining me today from themouseforless.com and touringplans.com, we have Rikki. Rikki, happy Friday.
happy Friday. And this weekend, I'm going to be doing something that is outside the theme parks, but it's in Walt Disney World. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm headed to Disney World this weekend in a weird way. So I'm going to the Springs. I may actually head over to City Walk as well. And I'll probably actually head over to City Walk too and kind of poke around there too. And so it's going to be a fun weekend. So if you're curious as to what's going on at either Disney Springs or City Walk or both, make sure you're following along because I will be on the ground with updates. So
can't wait to see it. I mean, I'm just missing seeing anything at this point. But
I know, right? Seriously, like I didn't realize how much I missed seeing like people in the parks in my timeline everywhere, and then I was like, oh, I do. I miss it.
Isn't it weird because we've lived in a period now for the last, Twitter started in like 2006, 7, 8.
8.
Because prior to that, you had discussion boards where you would see like, because I really got all this started by looking at guidebooks, and then I found discussion boards where people would do, a trip report like day 1, day 2, and they had pictures and stuff, and that was pretty awesome because that was more current. And for the last 12 years or so, you've been able to
see the parks live.
Real time, see everything, and can't do it now.
Kind of crazy. I know. It's weird how technology works, isn't it?
I love technology. All right. Also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Happy Friday, Pam. What's going on?
Happy Friday. So I have been feeling, as we've been talking about traveling a lot, and that's starting to open up. I'm so excited. I had thought about it, this past week, and just thought I'm so ready to start doing it. I completely understand the things that people are anxious about as they think about the parks and how things are going to change. But I really just felt like it was really heavy on my heart, just the fact that you're sort of missing out on opportunities by waiting for the perfect time. And I had written a Facebook post about this last weekend, but there is no perfect time. And that really hit me last week. And not that I haven't said things like that before, but there really is no perfect time. And I'm really going to take advantage of all the travel moments I have in the future because I just realized how much I missed that in my life. So anyways, on that note, we are going to, are you ready for this? Not anywhere super exciting, but Lake Erie. It's within a few hours drive of where I live, and I want my toes in the sand. That's as close as I can get to doing that. So I'm going to go up there for just a night or two and check it out, because I think there'll be a lot of people that are doing some domestic trips this year. Maybe not as many cruises as we would like, or international travel as we would like. But there's lots of domestic trips available. So anyways, I want to go check it out and see what's up there.
We're doing like the lakes. Like Scott went up and saw he went up to Mackinac Island this past weekend. I enjoyed from up there, Lake Huron and Michigan, where they meet. So that was cool. I'm going to be going to Lake of the Ozarks here in a couple weeks. Pam's sister-in-law and brother-in-law have a house down there. So they're going to let us stay at the lake house. And so it's going to be like super cheap to go down and just do touristy. Now I know when everybody around the country hears Lake of the Ozarks, I feel scared to death that I'm
right. Exactly. Especially now. Yeah.
I'm not going to that bar. There's a lake there because they built this dam, Bagnell Dam, back in the day for an hydroelectric plant. And so there's this man-made lake, which is awesome for like fishing and boating and I don't know, but there's like touristy stuff, there's a thing called the Strip, like go-karts and putt-putt and all that. So yeah, that might be our big summer vacation this year, but hey, it's okay because the thing is, it's kind of weird. As a Missourian, like that's what everybody here does.
True.
Like, I'm the weird one that goes to Walt Disney World every summer. Everybody goes like every, like once in their lifetime around here, maybe once every like 10 years. Like 4th of July, we're at Walt Disney World. Like we're going to be like being true Missourians. But I'm scared because I heard there's no internet down there. So I have to go to the McDonald's to get
what?
Yeah, apparently. Like it's way remote, the house.
Oh, that stinks.
One thing you got to know about the house. It's awesome. It's got a boat. No internet. Not even on your phone.
Wow. That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Not already. I'm kind of getting sweats.
I don't blame you.
Real quick, a shout out to more of our patrons who joined on day one back on June 1st. And it's Sarah K, Kelly F, Matt B, Lindsay, Lori R, Ann B, Stephen A from Give Kids the World. Love that.
Yes.
Thomas L, Desiree K, and Marlessa S. So we're up to 20 patrons so far on the list. We're going to get there. I promise everybody's getting their shout out. Thank you so much for joining us, supporting the show. And we're going the order that everybody jumped in. So thank you so much for that. You can become a patron over at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Check it out today. All right. So let's get into things to do outside of the parks under normal circumstances. Let's say that, because the thing is, by the time we're only recording the show about 4 days ahead of time, but who knows what'll change by the time this publishes.
At this point, yeah.
Everything we say is within 12 hours at this point. Under normal circumstances, because this is something that maybe you use a year from now if you're listening to the show. And I will start off with one of the newest things I've done outside the park that I don't know will be available, but it could be. And I've only gotten to do this a few times, and it's only because of my good friend Mark Yerkes up in Chicago. Another one of our great patrons. He invited me a long time ago, and a bunch of us, to go fishing with him. Now, I am not a fisherman at all. Like I fished one time before this, and it was with my great grandpa. I had to have been like 8 or 9 years old. We went to St. Ferdinand Park, for those people that are from St. Louis. It's a little park in Warsaw, Missouri. Got a little pond, about the size of the pond we have in our subdivision here. And I didn't even have like a fishing pole that's got the reel or anything. It was a cane pole. So it was just basically like a big piece of like bamboo with a string on the end and a hook. And we put the thing in there. My great grandpa, excited, got to take his great grandson fishing. We caught a catfish that day, and I was super excited. I didn't know what it was all about. He got it off, got a picture with my great grandpa of catfish and the cane pole. And that's a great memory that I have. Now, with Mark, when he invited Mark, I got to tell you about Mark real quick. This dude, every fish needs to be on high alert when that dude's on a Southwest jet heading to Florida, because you are an endangered species. I know it's catch and release, but you are bound to be caught, because this dude fishes from the time the sun comes up till like whenever they call it off because it gets too hot. He loves to fish, and he fishes every day on most of his trips. It's unreal. He was even down there fishing like right before the parks closed, and just kept fishing after the parks closed. He kept going. So anyway, the way the fishing works at Walt Disney World, it's so much fun. You get on a pontoon boat, you have a guide, he drives the boat. But this guy, and I forget, Mike, I think was the name of the guy. Mark always gets the same guy. He's awesome. Like he's just funny. He's cracking jokes. He's driving the boat. You get to go wherever you want. Like we fished Bay Lake, and we got to go back and see like where the ferry boats come out. That was really cool for the day. There's like big slips back kind of behind Bay Lake Tower. We also fished inside of Epcot one day. That was awesome. And around the Epcot area resorts. But basically, we had like 6 or 7, 8 people on the boat, all the bait you need, the little minnows. If you don't want to touch the minnows, you don't have to. The guide will actually put the minnows on your hook. I learned how to do it after a while, but at first I let him go for it. And like if you catch a fish, and it's not that hard to catch fish down there, they must be hungry. I don't know if there's like a scuba diver under the boat. Could be putting them on your hook. I don't know that for sure, but there might be scuba Steve. But the thing is, like, you catch a fish. They have like light refreshments, like you can have sodas and stuff on the ship, on the little pontoon boat. But it's fun. Like I got to do it with Paige. Paige pulled out a huge bass near Germany in World Showcase Lagoon. Hannah was with us. Steve, Scott, Phil. It was just so much fun to do this. I'm so glad Mark asked me because I would have never fished in my life. And it was one of the best times. Every time I've done this, it's been a blast. And I'm not a fisherman, but everybody should give that a shot. It's what it is. It's a new experience. I don't fish when I get home. The only time I do it is with Mark, but every time I do it, and you got to get up so early. So early, but it's such a fun thing to do. So I don't know if this is going to be offered here initially, but as we move through these phases, if you get the chance, give fishing a shot. It's a really cool experience at Walt Disney World. So that's something you can do. Rikki, what else? What do you got?
So one of the really cool things that I've done in the past is at several of the different Walt Disney World Resort hotels, they have marinas where you, like Mike said, you can go fishing, but there's also the ability to take the water mice out and go out on the lakes. It's a really, really cool experience to be able to just, go out and have the ability to really explore Bay Lake and all that area right there, by the Magic Kingdom, and go tool on over to, where Wilderness Lodge is. And at the time, River Country was still there. So it was really cool to be able to, get a better look at what, River Country looked like, and a much more close-up experience, go around to Fort Wilderness and see all that. So there are, and the island in the middle too, it's just a lot of really cool things that you can go and see. Now, of course, you have to be a little conscientious. You are in an area where there are other boats that are going around.
The smallest boat.
And you're the smallest boat.
It's kind of, I compare it to like when I used to drive an MGB. Like you had to be aware because every other car on the highway could crush you.
Exactly. And you are definitely the smallest boat out there. So you need to absolutely be cautious, especially when like the big ferry boat is coming.
Yeah.
Like that sucker ain't stopping for nobody. So you better get out of the way. So that's just one of the really cool things that we've gotten to do while we were at Walt Disney World. And it just, again, it gives you a unique perspective because you are, again, it's so small, so you're low to the water, and it's a view that you can't get really anywhere else because of that. Like, you're definitely like almost in the water with how low this is, but it's such a cool thing. And I'm so glad that we decided to do it because it was one of those like random things we didn't have planned, but we were at the Polynesian at the time, and we're like, hey, you know what? Let's go try it. Let's go see if they have any, available, and let's go out and see if we can do it. And they did have some available at the time, and we just went out, and I think we did an hour. And that was definitely enough time to go out and tool around and see everything. So headed over to the Grand Floridian. We went everywhere. So
I've still never done one of those. And that's one of those things, like practically like with, just the liability of it. I can't believe they let you drive those things out on the same body of water with the ferry. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad they do, but like, when you kind of think about it, like, ooh, that might be something that maybe you want to do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Just be cautious if you're driving out by the ferry, but don't try to beat the ferry. Just don't try to beat the ferry. Okay.
They have gigantic engines in those little bitty boats. I've never done it. I want to do that sometime.
It's a lot of fun.
All right, Pam, what do you got for somebody outside the parks?
So I'm going to actually mention something that is going on right now too. As soon as the parks open or the resorts open, you're still going to be able to do this. And this is Movies Under the Stars. And we've mentioned this a few times, but this is one of those activities that I think so many people who were like us before we did it planned on doing it some evening, and they always got pulled away to something else, right? Fireworks, a parade, a party, dinner went long, something. And it's always something that you're like, oh, I keep meaning to do that. When we finally did it years ago, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Really, just to be able to sit here on vacation, not have somewhere else I have to go, not have anything else I have to do, just hang out and watch a movie under the stars, by the way. And it's great. So when Disney opens back up and the resorts are open, they have put this as one of the things that they're going to have available in addition to the pools and poolside activities and things like that. And I know that that's a big part of everyone's vacations too, is when they have the recreation staff out there and they're doing all these awesome activities for kids and adults in the pools. Those are going to be things that are available too. So I love that they have made this happen, that they're, because this is something that they just could have said, you know what, this is kind of a pain. We're going to have to like make sure that people are socially distant from each other, blah, blah, blah. But they're going to find a way to make this happen. And I'm really glad to see that because I think it's just part of the Disney resort experience.
Well, too, and drive-ins are kind of making a resurgence. It's almost like a drive-in without a car.
Yeah.
Atmosphere. Get some candy from the food court, watch a movie.
Yeah.
It is one of those things. I mean, you mentioned kind of, and it's exactly right. Like so many times we get back to the resort from a night at the parks and like the movie would just be wrapping up. We're like, dang, we should have done that. Like that's, be like a Wreck-It Ralph or something. I'm like, I love that movie and it's a great night. I should have, and I'm beat from being in the park forever. Like I should have sat on this grass and watched a movie. Like it's vacation.
I know. And those are the times that I really remember. Like I remember it's one of those times I think when you're sitting there, if you really take the moment to just sort of reflect on what you're doing, it's one of those things that you wish you had a picture of because you want to make sure you remember it. It's so simple. It's easy to forget, but it really is a perfect time to create some memories. Mm-hmm.
All right. So mine, I'm heading over to Fort Wilderness, and Fort Wilderness is just a great place to go. I mean, if you really want to feel some nostalgia for times gone by, but practically, here's the thing. I don't know if like you listening to today's podcast have kind of discovered this during this period since March. Bicycle riding, it's fun to ride a bike. Like I have an old Huffy bike that I probably bought like in college, and we busted that out. Pam has kind of just an old bike we bought at Target 10, 12 years ago. And so, we didn't have much to do lately. So I would ride my bike with Mallory around the neighborhood. You can rent bikes over at Fort Wilderness and just drive through ride your bike around the loops, see the motorhomes, the trailers, the campsites. You can ride around there kind of in the main area where Pioneer Hall is. And I know that sounds simple. And people are probably saying, I don't want to go to Walt Disney World to go on a bicycle, but there's something about it. Even at Castaway Cay, when you go on a cruise. Now, normally we go in the summer and it's blazing hot, but we have rented bicycles and it's just, I think bicycle, this is me, but I think it is true for others, that riding a bicycle kind of takes you back to like a childhood state of mind. You're exploring, you're laughing. Sometimes your kids haven't ridden bikes. Anyway, like riding a bike somewhere new is always exciting. And there's a lot to see at Fort Wilderness. That's something simple, something relatively inexpensive. You can rent bikes at other resorts. I know Riverside has them. They actually all of them have bikes. But it's something as simple as like riding bikes with your significant other or your kids. Mm-hmm. Solid. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's easy. It doesn't take a lot of time. Just get out there and by the time you get done riding your bike, go get another dessert. You just burned a bunch of calories. Bonus. All right, Rikki, what else?
So one of my favorite things to do and some of my favorite memories that I've had at Walt Disney World is going out and hanging out on the boardwalk at Disney's Boardwalk Resort. It's just so, especially at night, not maybe during the day because it's hot. But at night, it's peaceful. You're there by the water. It's all lit up with the great, the popcorn lights that they have and all the fun boardwalk games that they've got going on. So there's that energy that's there. You've got Ample Hills, which I know we all love. And so you can go grab some ice cream. sit out, outside and enjoy the ice cream, hang out, talk with your family or your friends or whoever you're traveling with, and just, really have a good time, exploring the boardwalk. And, there's not necessarily as much to do as, say a Disney Springs, but it's just nice if you're in the area and you want to do something kind of different, and really have a unique experience. That's a great option. You've got the Abracadabra bar there as well, so you can go in and have a drink if you'd like. It's such a unique area, and they have entertainment there a lot of times too. I've seen jugglers and things like that, so there's kind of always something going on the boardwalk in a way. There's just, like I said, there's this unique energy that's there that's really special, and it's something that you can't get anywhere else. And that's why I love going to the boardwalk and just hanging out, having ice cream, and being with friends and family. So.
Yeah, you got to, besides the ice cream at Apple Hills, which is solid, you have that little stand that just sells all the carnival food. Like, you're going to regret a half hour after eating it, but it's so fun to eat.
100%. Yes.
Dog nuggets.
Exactly. Yeah.
God, I miss this kind of
I know.
There's a margarita stand too.
There is a margarita stand. Yes, and you can always rent a Surrey bike and regret life choices after. So, just saying.
That's another story, man. That night with Mallory and her friend.
Paige.
No, it wasn't Mallory. It was Paige and Molly.
Yes.
He was 7 years old, and we put them both in the basket of the big old Volkswagen size Surrey bike after killing myself at Beaches and Cream in July.
Yep.
I did not barf. I do not messed out.
No, that's a terrible idea.
Sounds horrible.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No.
All right, Pam, next. So we got a lot of stuff we can do. Next recommendation.
Yeah.
I know, right? So I was going to say, did you know that Disney resorts, some of them have sport courts, like tennis?
What?
Yeah, I know, right?
Playing tennis on vacation.
I know. And some of them have cornhole set up. Some of them have
bocce ball at Riviera, right?
Yes, there's bocce at Riviera. There's little fun things like that are going on. Now, not every resort has a tennis court, which is good because I think I've seen people on the court maybe once or twice in all the years I've been going. I think Old Key West even has a basketball court too, but I have seen people play cornhole for sure. So that's something that they can do. Or, just go Beach Club has a volleyball court set up. So you can do that there, right?
I've mostly seen kids playing in the sand at the volleyball court.
I know, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And in addition, Riviera also has an outdoor chess.
Yes, they do
set as well. So there's that. So there's sport courts available for those who want to do it. There's ping pong available at a couple resorts too. You just have to typically go in and get the paddles and ball and things like that. And you usually see someone running after a ball somewhere because
always.
ping pong is kind of hard to control, really and truly. But that's something that you can do. And I was going to say, Mike, even when the resorts first open up, first of all, you can do a fishing excursion at Fort Wilderness. So that will be available. You can also do the trail rides at Fort Wilderness, the horse riding at Fort Wilderness. So those are going to be open from the very day that Fort Wilderness opens. So I think, again, that's a plus too.
Just a travel agent tip. If you want to do those because again, anything that's limited capacity, I would get on that as soon as you can make those reservations.
Agreed.
Now, because that way, we don't have fast pass. We don't have theme parks at this point.
Right. They're coming.
You want to lock in as much as you can because you're going to want to be entertained. I mean, of course, sitting by the pool, we joked about this, Rikki and I, we were doing the live show. We're talking about the restaurants that are going to be open initially. Yes. And it was I think 65% bars.
Bars. Yes, exactly. Hey, you gotta have a drink. I mean, at this point,
we all deserve a drink, don't we? I think we all deserve a drink.
Amen. Yes, I actually
have my permission.
Pam, you'll be happy to know I actually had a drink this past weekend.
There.
I really did.
I think we all deserve it.
I was done. I'm done. I need a drink. It's done. So yeah.
I got to tell you, Rikki, what my daughter Mallory told me last night. So there's this new restaurant up on Highway K in O'Fallon called That Burger Joint.
Yes.
It's 3 stores in one. It's a burger place, it's a fire like grilled pizza place, and then there's a dairy. There's an Oberweis dairy. It's people. But anyway, she went in and she's like, they have these great sodas, and they even have milk like on the cruise, and you just pull it down and serve your own milk, and it's even chocolate milk too. She's like, Rikki would love it.
That's awesome. I love that. Yes.
All right, so I want to throw in here because Michelle's got a great comment, because I think right now there's a lot of momentum for NASA because of the SpaceX launch, and we're excited for that. And I love that, man. I'm so excited for our space program right now. She says she wants to recommend Kennedy Space Center, which is about a like 75-minute drive or so, depending on how fast you drive on the Beeline. Just over, you just gotta go due east until you can't go any go. You're in the ocean, but it's pretty easy to find over in Cocoa Beach, Titusville area. Says there's an amazing deal going on right now with discount tickets during their partial reopening, that you get a free 2021 ticket with purchase.
Nice.
I think that's in effect until the end of July. So yeah,
awesome.
Kennedy Space Center is incredible. And the thing is, I think, now I haven't seen the Atlantis exhibit, but every person I've talked to, Jay especially, and Joanne, that are huge space fans like me, and even people that are kind of on the fence, like they're not sure, that they like space, but they're not as invested as I am, and some people are, that at least the remodeled like Atlantis new exhibit of the orbiter that used to go into space, a lot of people compare that experience of seeing that, because it's a multimedia type experience, not just go in and look. There's a lot to it. And a lot of people say it is very on par to what you would see at Disney, as far as the presentation and the movie and the emotional connection to the experience. So yeah, good stuff, because I think this is a time that if you're ever going to kind of explore a little bit off property, you may want to do it on this trip. Kennedy Space Center is not that far. Cocoa Beach, you could do a little beach day, Jetty Park if it's open. That's what we used to do. We used to pay like $10 a person, go in Jetty Park. Because, it had a snack bar, it had clean bathrooms, and I know it's not a real beach, but you can kind of get in the water there. It is a beach, but it's not. And you can watch cruise ships go out. Well, you used to be able to. You can
not anymore.
You can watch cruise ships parked, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so that's my last one. Rikki, what do you got?
So I think, and granted, you're not able to do it right now, not only because of coronavirus, but also because they are remodeling it and reworking it. But there's the Tri-Circle D Ranch, which is at Fort Wilderness. And it's a really cool, unique experience, something that not a lot of people know about. And what it is it's the home of all the Disney horses. So, the horses that you see that parade down Main Street at the Magic Kingdom, they're going to be there. The horses that, take brides to get married at the Grand Floridian, they're those horses there. There's and you can ride horses there. They have pony rides and things like that. It's a really and really unique experience that not a lot of guests know about. And you do have to. It is not the easiest necessarily to get to. You have to actually, I think, go to the main front area of Fort Wilderness. So you can't go to like that back entrance with the boat from the Magic Kingdom. You actually have to then, if you take that way, you then have to get on a bus to get to the front entrance. But it's such a cool experience to get to see the horses and learn more about them, because they will tell you anything, about the horses. They will teach you about them, about, what their names are, kind of their temperament, what they like and stuff like that. Like, it's just, especially if you're a horse lover or, you've got a child that's a horse lover, this is a really unique experience that you're only going to get at Disney. So
just follow your nose.
That is true. Yes.
Because I used to run that path between Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness. You knew where they were, because the path goes right past the horses.
Yeah.
Good.
You're going to smell them. That's for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, Alfred has a suggestion, which I am vehemently against. Go to the Disney outlet store. That was the worst 2 hours of my life.
Okay, for you.
Oh,
yes.
Scott and I went there because we thought we had the greatest plan. We're going to get cheap souvenirs for the kids, for the wives to go back. But problem was we did it after the marathon. So we had run 26.2 miles. We've been up since 2:00 in the morning. I was hungry and I was tired, and that is the worst combination for Mike Rallman. He has a rental car. We drive over. You cannot find a parking spot.
No, that is true.
dude, we drove around for. I'm not, and I am not at least 30 minutes trying to find a parking.
Oh my gosh,
that's not true. I will be honest with you. The parking there is atrocious. Yes,
I guess we could have paid to go in the garage. We were not doing that.
No, and the garage used to be free, and then they added the upcharge.
Yeah, there was something like we couldn't even get in there if we wanted. But anyway,
when it was free, it was a lot easier to find spots. You didn't have to drive around 50,000 times to find a spot to park. So
and everything was like from Disney Cruise Line from like 3 years ago. Some sailing. I'm like, dude, I can't get that for a souvenir. Like my wife.
There is a lot of Disney Cruise Line stuff there. I will admit.
I mean, I'm not a shopper anyway. And then the guy tried to sell me on a Carnival cruise, like in the middle at the kiosk, and he like would not let me go. Like he was.
You can't stop for those people, Mike.
No, but he got me. Like I'm not.
No, you can't be nice. You can't say hi. You can't. You just gotta keep on walking. I tell that to Brian all the time.
I have to say hi to people.
No, do not say hi. No,
he got his hooks in me.
Keep on walking.
I mean, I'm not like trying to be an elitist here, but I had to get on the guy and be like, "Look, dude, I only cruise Disney Cruise Line." He's like, "No. Carnival's better." I'm like, dude, you don't even want to go to battle with me right now.
No, you do not.
Miles today. I'm tired. I'm hungry, and I don't want to go to jail the day.
No,
I'm about to knock you out. Just let me not take a Carnival cruise right now.
Yes.
Oh, ask Scott. The story was not good. Anyway.
All right. So
thanks, Alfie. Now you got my blood pressure all up.
Can I give you my tips for enjoying your experience?
Okay, my tip is don't go. Okay.
Yeah, Mike's wrong. So the outlet can be fun. I will say I have gone to the outlet many times. I have purchased many things from the outlet. Yes, I've even purchased Disney Cruise Line stuff from the outlets. That I've enjoyed. So see, Mike, somebody's
probably
purchasing
from the big red boat. That's how.
No, it's not that old. But I will say, going in the afternoon, going in the morning, afternoon is a terrible idea. Do not do that. It's just don't. It's hot. It's crowded. You are not going to find a parking spot. The store itself is packed at that time. Matter of fact, they've actually had to. They've had lines of people waiting to get into the store. So don't.
I'll pay twice the retail price to not have to deal with that.
My tip, you're dealing with the eBayers who are buying a bunch of stuff and then they're going to go sell it on eBay. So my tip is do not go in the morning, afternoon. Go in the late afternoon, and if you can, go in the evening. I can guarantee you it will be less crowded at that point, so you don't have to deal with all the craziness of everybody and their brother being in the store in the evening. I've had much better success when I've gone in the evening. So and they are open late. I will tell you, I've been late, almost 11 o'clock. They're still open. So yeah, that's my hack is don't go in the morning or afternoon because you're going to regret life choices at that point, like Mike Roman did. So
I'm so fired up.
I like Alfred's idea of taking an Uber. Dude, at that point,
parking.
I would gladly take an Uber at that point because he's not wrong. I'll just pay for the Uber instead of the parking fee.
Michelle says Walmart and Kissimmee's easier. That might make sense. Those Walmarts do have a lot of good stuff. I mean, fake stuff, but good stuff. All right. Yeah. The problem is my wife is on to me. Like she knows if I'm getting something that's not real. Like it ain't happening. All right, Pam, close this out. I've tried to shut down the outlet mall.
Well, so the last thing, of course, I'm going to say is to enjoy the resorts is to check out some of the other resort dining. I mean, that's one of the best reasons to go. Now, when the parks and the resorts first open, you're going to need to have either a reservation at the resort or a dining reservation to go to the resorts initially. They haven't really explained how how much this is really going to impact guests. So are they really going to be checking and things like that?
Right.
I'm guessing yes, but I guess that this restriction will probably open up fairly quickly. And then after that, you can enjoy not only the sit-down restaurant, which you'll have an ADR for, but also for the lounges and things like that. And I'm looking at you, Geyser Point, because
Geyser Point, totally, yes,
right. You can't make a reservation for Geyser Point. So for a while, only the folks staying at the Wilderness Lodge will be able to go there.
Actually, I don't think Geyser Point was listed as one of the restaurants.
It was open. Yeah,
was it? Yeah. Okay, I
was like, yes,
got it.
I was like, I was like, I almost thought for sure it was because
maybe I remember Whispering Canyon being available, and I was like, huh. Okay.
As your point was.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, but lots of things. There are lots of great lounges at all the different resorts that, of course, I think that people will want to see open. But I think it's a perfect opportunity for maybe Disney to look at and see how many people are coming to the different resorts and what they're doing when they get there. So that's a big plus too. So yeah, there's so much unique dining around Walt Disney World. And I think some of the best places, of course, are located outside of the parks. And if you aren't checking out the dining at the other resorts, besides the one that you'll go to, the one resort that you're staying at, then you're missing out for sure.
That's true.
Rikki, do we have the restaurant list, the initial restaurant list on the Mousetrap list?
It's on the know before you go too.
Yeah, I will have it on the Mousetrap list. I just haven't had the opportunity to write it up, but it will be there. I can guarantee you within the next day or well, by the time this is up, it will be there. I can
guarantee. There we go. Boom.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for today. I got to go do some yoga or something to bring my blood pressure down because Alfred asked me about the outlet malls. Thank you, Alfred. I got a little hot. I got a little sweat on the forehead. No, it's fine. Don't forget you can follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at BeOurGuestPod and at BeOurGuestMike because Rikki will be posting stuff from Disney Springs this weekend. We need our Disney fix, and that's going to help us out a lot.
Yes.
Just check us out at Facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. 3 ways to support the show. The most important way is to book your next vacation with the Magic for Less Travel. Passionate, professional agents taking care of everything you need for that next trip. Of course, right now, as we're recording, we can't book new trips, but that time is coming very soon. Get in contact with that agent, start laying down some plans, and we'll get that put in place for you and take great care of you in these very fluid times. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. You get all your Prime benefits, cost you nothing extra, and every purchase helps support the show. So please bookmark it and use it often. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And you can support the show now on Patreon, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Come on over and join the fun. Maybe a little Mike in the Midwest show coming, just a little Patreon side thing. It's going to be dumb, but you might like it. I mean, it's not really a great way to sell things.
No, that's not a great way.
No, it's not.
You know what? People have been here for 12 years. They know. I'm not pulling anything over anybody's eyes. You know, I am who I am, and that's who I am. So that's how it's going to be. All right. So
okay, Papa.
I eat my spinach. I don't know, dude. No, whatever.
Oh my gosh.
We are going to get out of here and hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your time with friends and family. Have some great runs, walks, activities with the family, bike rides, and we'll be back again with you on Monday. So for Pam and Rikki, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Yay. That was actually a fun one, too. Got more than I thought we'd get. So
it is. There's actually more stuff going to be open when the resorts first open than I thought.
There is, yeah.
That makes me just want to go worse.
I mean, I'll be at Disney Springs, so I'll make you jealous.
You don't have to call Scott and be like, can you add me to your regular?
I'm trying to figure out where I would like to eat.
Olivia's.
Lots of choices. No, Olivia's is not going to be open. I have to go to Disney Springs restaurants. I would like to know. You guys let me know. Where would you... Polite Pig. See, I haven't been to Polite Pig. I've been thinking.
So good.
I've been thinking though. I want to go to Wine Bar George. I was thinking. How much I love charcuterie plates. Yes. I'll put it to the listeners and everybody who's out there. If there's a place that you want to see me eat at, let me know. I'm still thinking about it. So you may influence me.
Polite Pig is so good.
I've heard Polite Pig is very, very good. So it's on my idea list. But Wine Bar George seems to be winning right now. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on A, how long I'll be there, whether I get lunch and dinner, or B, how hungry I am. So
make it happen. Leave us up and we'll see you this weekend.
Yeah. I will not be here next Monday. So just letting you know, I will be on my way back. Sorry.
Whatever.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm on my way back from Disney World.
Well, I mean,
I feel bad.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Jennifer, you know what? Dole Whip is not my favorite thing. The nachos sound good. If I can get it with the vanilla, I'm good. If it's the pineapple, I'm not okay with it. So I'm sorry to tell you. I do not like Dole Whip. I know I'm weirdo.
I love you guys. All right.
Love you too. All right. You guys have fun. You have fun recording without me next Monday because I know you won't wait until Tuesday. So
probably not. Because I do shows on Tuesday now. All the time.
We'll do a show on Monday and then we can record on Tuesday.
Okay, let me think about it.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you guys. Bye.